again, from that lasso position, we've addressed Carl being on his knees, we've addressed him standing, various sweeps and stuff. His reaction sometimes is when I'm playing this open guard type of game, he drops to combat base and he brings his elbow on the inside. So we've shown you how to actually try and get this omoplata bar. So again, some of you guys were struggling a little bit with this. Let's just recap on it. If I go for this, I definitely want to switch the grip from the sleeve to this. And as I extend and I just feel that elbow coming to the inside of my knee, I make the pinch. It's not one of those submissions where I put my other hand in and just do that. It takes too long. It's just this, alright? And then the minute he reacts, I hold it. Okay, they'll give you that scared look, but you know, you use a little bit of control, obviously, except if it's Carl. So when we're here, sometimes when I start to go for that, he's just adamant on keeping his elbow inside. If I don't get that profile of bringing his elbow away from the inside of the knee, there's no bite. Does that make sense? So we need another option from here. So if that's the case, I'm going to use my right foot on the mat, the hip escape onto my left hip, and I put a shin to shin, okay? And now I come back to face Carl, and then I grab his collar. I'm going to start, keep your elbow tucked in, bro. As I start to pull Carl's collar and bring his head over my head, I'm going to use my left shin to extend Carl's leg out, and now I'm going straight into the omoplata again. Another option from here is, because we're going to look at alternative finishes, sometimes rather than hitting the omoplata from here, I can stay on my right side, and if I've got the thumb facing me, I can just push his arm into that omoplata bar. And I don't expect to get anyone good with this because he's going to roll. The second he rolls, we're straight into that lazy armbar that we did on Tuesday night. Only I didn't have to do it from the same setup. I just turned my hip. So now I'll make that triangle, and once I have that thumb, straight in. Again, that detail of keeping my shin over Carl's right shoulder, so Carl can't turn into me. The only position he can do is roll back that way, and when he does, I turn my hip again. And as long as I have the thumb facing me, I have it again. Of course, he might decide to roll, and when he does, I just move my hip, make my triangle. Again, I'm bringing it over my hip rather than turning. So let's look at that again. Something you should invest a little bit of time in, not just going for the omoplata all the time. You can be attacking the arm as well. So we're playing our shallow lasso. Carl decides to drop to combat base. This elbow is on the inside. We're looking for all the cues. Possibly I start to work my hamstring on his knee to get this elbow a little bit forward, but he's keeping this and there's no bite. And anytime I clamp my knees, if they're not near his shoulder, again, if I have this forward a little bit, I should be able to get my knees against his shoulder, and then we can hit that. Anytime his shoulder's back, it's not going to happen. So we need another road to go down. So I keep contact with my foot on his hip. I'm going to shrimp onto my left side, and I bring my left shin in front of Carl, so I'm making like an X. But then I move my back flat on the mat, and I make a grip. Okay. So Carl's keeping his elbow tucked in. There's no omoplata. So I start pulling on the lapel, and as I bring Carl's head towards mine, I can lift my left shin, which is connected to Carl's right shin, and just kick that leg out. Now look where his elbow is. It's a no man's land. I just kick through, and I'm into the omoplata. But rather than coming up to the omoplata, I'm going to stay on my right side. I'm elbow control. I'm finding that thumb, and we're just straight into that omoplata bar. I expect him to roll, but as I do, I just turn my hip, make that triangle, and now I'm bringing it over my hip. Detail, I'm keeping this on his shoulder. If you stay flat on your back from here, Carl can turn into me. You need to stay on your side and keep the shin on the shoulder. One more time on that. So, from our shallow lasso, Carl jumps into combat base, elbows on the inside, no omoplata. Can't hit the omoplata bar. So I use that foot, the hip escape onto my side, I come shin to shin. I put my back on the mat again, find the collar, and now I'm trying to bring his head over mine. As I do that, I'm going to extend my shin out, and go straight into the omoplata. Only this time, rather than stuffing this into the hip, I'm going to keep his thumb facing me. I'm on my right side. I find that elbow, and I'm just pushing his arm this way. I expect him to roll, and when he does, I turn my hip. I'm on my side. I'm not here. You have no control over their body this way. I turn onto my side. I've made that triangle, and I'm bringing it over my hip. The car tries to turn into me. He rolls back. I'm finishing it on the other side. I just turn my. Just play around with it.